Hi, TJ here. In this video, I'm going to talk about paint brushes. There are lots of different paint brushes you can use. First thing you'll notice when you go to buy a brush, they come in different lengths. The shorter length brushes, which are good for painting on smaller surfaces if you're holding your canvas in your hand. If you're working in an easel on a larger canvas, you may want a brush with a longer handle. Since I usually paint smaller, not always, but usually, I prefer the brushes with the shorter handles. They come in a variety of types of brushes. I usually recommend, starting out, you have at least one flat brush or one bright brush. The main difference in a flat and a bright, the flat will be longer than it is wide. A bright brush is about the same, width and length. And you get a little more control with a bright brush. Round brushes, which means the brush is round, come in a couple of different types, some with pointed tips and some without pointed tips. For instance, this one does not have a pointed tip. A filbert is similar to a flat brush. I don't have one here to show you, but they're rounded. They're flat brushes, but they're rounded this way. A filbert is used, can be very good at creating nice round shapes when you're painting flowers or something organic, possibly a person. Script brushes or liner brushes are small and usually kind of long, and they're good for nice clean lines, outlining things, doing retouches or touching up a painting. They can be good for animal whiskers or your signature at the bottom of the painting. A fan brush, which I also don't have, I haven't used one very often, is good for creating a thin layer where you need something brushed out. A fan it's shaped like a fan. The brush would be fan shape. And then there's a mop brush, which I also don't have, but they're good for mopping up a lot of paint. They would be wide and bristly. Good for doing your base coat or mopping up a lot of color. You also could use a palette knife, which they come in plastic, like this one. This one's been used a few times. Or metal with wood handles. The metal ones are really good. They will last probably as long as you're painting. Palette knives can be used to scoop up a lot of paint and spread it on the canvas very thick. They can also be used for mixing colors. If you're just starting out and you don't have any paintbrushes at all, I suggest you go to the art supply store. Look for a set. These brushes I have are all part of a set. You can see they're all the same color. I got a wide flat and a round and a little liner. Oh, and a flat angled brush. Angled brushes are good for doing lines and around curves. So that's about it on brushes. The next video, I'm going to go over all the other supplies you're going to need. Until then, be well.